Peace family, Kanji Queen here, and today is Hecate's night. Today is November 16th, and for those who don't know what Hecate is a powerful goddess. She's not just a goddess, but she's one of the most ancient goddesses, especially dealing with dark magic, dealing with the subconscious mind and the underworld. Hecate has been branded as being wicked and evil, and she has many different names and many different pantheons in different parts of the world, but it's very similar energies. Now, for those of you who may be witches, warlocks, or consider yourself a bruja or a brujo or a incantation person, a person who does divination, a magical being, right? If you are interested in the occult, Hecate is actually a great goddess that you can work with that can take your magic to the next level. You don't have to do this ritual on the day, but you can do it on a different day as well. Even though tonight, which is the 16th of November, is known as Hecate's night, it starts between sunset until sunrise the next following day. Between that time, you can do the ritual. Now, what her ancient devotees would do is they would put out offerings like fish or honey, fruits, incense, things of that nature, right? And you can even do your own research and find out, what offerings that she likes. And I would highly recommend the book Encyclopedia of Spirits, because it teaches you how to work with these deities, how to feed them, their colors, things that attract them, and things that also pisses them off, because you need to know that as well. You do not want to pick off Hecate. Don't piss her off, because if you piss off Hecate, let's just say that your life is going to be a living hell. One of the signs that you know that Hecate received your offerings or that Hecate is around is if you hear a dog or you have a dream about dogs, right? If you have a dog that's in your house, your dog might be acting a little strange or might be acting like somebody is next to it, but it's not going to act like it's in danger. You'll just probably notice that your dog is just acting a little bit different. Hecate may be around because she loves dogs, right? She loves them. Just to keep in mind, right? Where you would put the offerings. Now, normally what people would do is they would throw a feast during the night of Hecate, right? And they would eat the food and then they would leave some out for her. Either leave it in front of their doors, they would leave it at a crossroads, somewhere where she can get it, right? Hecate is also guardian of the graveyard or the cemetery as well. So if you guys live near a cemetery, you can just drop it off by the gates. Now, if you live in a big city like New York, like me, right? I can't just put a plate of food outside of my door because I live in an apartment complex, that can attract rats. And you guys already know, New York City has king-size rats bigger than cats, okay? So I'm not trying to create an even worse problem here. Now, what I would do is I would put the offering, you can even put a little offering on a table, right? Have an image of Hecate or something that symbolizes her, like a crescent moon. Those who may have strong Cancerian placements or Scorpio placements will be very connected to her as well. And this is not to say that if you're not a Cancer or a Scorpio that you won't have any connections to Hecate. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are certain people whose energy just naturally synchronizes up with Hecate's, and it's more easy for them to tap into her energy, because these deities or these energies that we work with are just frequencies. And when we do these rituals, what we're doing is we are tapping into that frequency to pull that energy into our reality, thus making it materialize and do our will. Okay, so whether you decide to look at these gods or deities as sentient, intelligent beings, or if you want to look at them as just energy, cosmic energy, or degrees in the universe that you're able to tap into, it's completely up to you. Whatever works for you, because everybody thinks differently, everybody learns differently, and everybody's brain composition is made differently, right? So Hecate can also be venerated on the 30th of the month and during the dark moon cycle. Now, the dark moon cycle is when the moon is black in the sky, right? Usually 3 days prior to the new moon, they call that the dark moon cycle. And during that time, this is funny, right? During that time, they say in the magical community that you're not supposed to do any rituals, that's the time where demons and evil spirits run rampant. But I always tell you guys to do your research and not believe everything people say. The truth is, we got to look at what happened throughout history, right? We got to realize that the Crusaders came, right? And this was around the time when Christianity was trying to push their narrative and Catholicism was trying to push their narrative. So what they did was they pretty much pushed the dark goddess underground, pun intended. They put her underground and pretty much was like, you know what, don't work during these days. The 13th day, that's where Friday the 13th come from. That number 13 is actually a powerful feminine number, but what they wanted to do was they wanted to make it a negative thing, and that's how it became so popular where people started saying Friday the 13th is a bad number, it's an unlucky day. The same with black cats or black dogs, right? And interestingly enough, some may even say that Hecate and Legba, right, are connected too, because even Papa Legba is connected to black dogs. If anybody ever watched my video on how to eliminate debt with 16 pennies or the 16 penny ritual, which is one of my classic videos on YouTube, and if you guys haven't checked it out, I would highly suggest you do so, especially for people that want to eliminate debt, people that want to become more successful, people that feel like there's blocks in their life and no matter what they do, nothing will work. This is a powerful ritual. So I only tell people to do this once in a while or when you really, really, really need it. And if you guys don't believe me, just read the testimonials in the comment section. It's thousands of them. And people speak for themselves, okay? Real stories. There's different deities that are synchronized with Hecate, right? You don't have to just, like I said, even if you watch this video after the fact, you can still work with Hecate. You can still work with her energies. One thing that I would say, right? If you're going to work with these dark goddesses, understand that they will transform you. If you have certain ways about yourself and you don't want to change and you think that, you know, you can just carry on doing your nonsense and you expect the spirit to do all of the work for you, you're going to find yourself to make a lot of enemies on the spiritual realm. Because one thing that the spirits don't like is a lazy person who asks for a lot and gives nothing. And we know a lot of people like that now, don't we? Always give before you take. Sometimes you have to give out offerings to deities to get their attention, right? Give them offerings here and there, little rituals here and there, burn some incense for them, dedicate some candles for them, little things like that to pretty much get their attention, especially if you're not used to working with deities or you're not naturally magically inclined. Because there's different type of people, but I would say there's two type of people, right? For argument's sake, for simplicity's sake, there's two type of people. There's people who are born with the juice, the magic, meaning that somebody in their bloodline either practiced or somebody in their bloodline, you know, made a pact with a deity or an entity, or somebody in their bloodline has some shamanic roots, and so it got passed down through the blood. And even since like ancient Kemetic times, and even like the Cherokee Indian tribe here in the Americas, that they had a very strong belief that your heritage or your legacy was dependent upon your mother. So if your mother was royalty and she had spiritual gifts and she was a shaman, you would only get that heritage if your mother had that blood, if the blood was passed down through your mother, right? Whether it was divination, the ability to be a seer, to do magic and rituals. And then there are people who probably don't come from a magical bloodline, right? People who maybe they picked up magic or they have an interest in it and they want to learn how to do sorcery. Now, this is what I call alchemists, right? And let me know what you guys think. I know some people may disagree with me, but they say that there's alchemists and then there's true mages or magicians. The true mages and magicians are those who are born with the ability to do magic. alchemists are people who learned how to use natural elements like roots and herbs and animal parts and stuff like that to help them with their rituals, because they don't have the ashe or the spiritual power to do it without these tools, right? It doesn't mean that either one is better than the other, but alchemists have to become more creative and use their environment in order to create magical results, because it's the fae that they'll work with, or the spirit of the plant that's going to be doing the work for them. People who are not magically inclined may take up like hoodoo or root work, because it is more, it's simpler for them. Well, that's usually what most magicians start off as, doing root work and stuff like that. And then they'll discover that they're interested in higher magic or ceremonial magic or summoning deities and doing mediumship and channeling extraterrestrials and interdimensional beings. Like, these are mages who are able to transcend space-time continuum, right? These are the shamans that were able to walk between the living and the dream world simultaneously. Powerful, powerful people. And there's not that many left, right? Because of the genocide that we know that took place. So it's a whole history lesson, family. I wasn't expecting to make the video too long, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up about the day working with Hecate. Hecate's night is tonight. And if you watch this afterwards, you can still work with Hecate. Okay, do your research. I will put a link below where you guys can get the book Encyclopedia of Spirits, because that's a book that I always work with. I call it a reference book, because it's something that you'll always be working with along your spiritual journey, especially if you are interested in working with deities and entities, the Lua, the Neturu, all different types of pantheons. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them below. I'll be more than happy to assist you and answer your questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and also share this with a friend. Until next time, family, Conjure Queen signing out. Peace.